Hi everybody, this is going to be the before of my client today. We are doing a foliage, so I'm going to go ahead and start with mixing. So with her natural level 6 hair, she has virgin hair. She has a little bit of grown out highlights, but that's about it. So I'm starting with 2 scoops of Redken Flash Lift. I'm starting with 15 volume because I am doing a foliage, and it does take me about an hour and 30 minutes to an hour and 45 minutes to apply, just so I can make sure we lift her nice and evenly and maintain the integrity of her hair. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just mixing everything together, and then I'm going to add the Redken pH bonder as well. I'd also like to throw out there that I personally do not measure out my lightener. I'm more of a consistency type of person. So as long as I have something that's not too runny but not too thick, I like something that's more in the middle. So I measure based off of the consistencies. Okay, so we are going to get into partings and sections now. So I just take a part down the center, and then I take a part from ear to ear across the side. This is how I do all of my balayage and foliages. If my client today, she just happens to part her hair down the middle. If I have a client that parts their hair to the side, I do it off of their part, and you will see why later. But I do always take it off of their part, but she just happened to part it in the middle. So, yes, if they happen to have a side part, I do still part the back down the middle as well. So I do take a slice off of the top of this section. If you would like to weave or like a natural weave, textured weave, you can do whatever you would like for your designated look. But I sliced because her hair is pretty solid. We're trying to get a lot of dimension in there. So I go ahead and tease it up. I do about 2 times, and I start at the end of the hair just to make sure that there is going to be like some graduation when it comes to the teasing. So I do use conditioner, and I put conditioner on the root and I drag it down just a little bit. So when I'm putting the lightener on towards the end, it blends up seamlessly and it'll have a more seamless result. I find that for fine hair, this technique works amazingly. It works good with all textures, but with especially fine hair. Girls who have straight hair, it blends seamlessly when it's straight, when it's curled at all times, because a balayage does not look good or foliage does not look good if it only looks good curled. So that is what I do, and then I lock both of my foils into place, and then I move on to the next section. Another thing is also having clean sections is going to make this very easy, because when you move from place to place throughout the head, it's going to make it a lot easier if you keep clean sections, clean lines, and make sure that everything is done correctly. So I go ahead and continue this all the way up the head, and I will go ahead and check back in with you with a close-up. I'm going to speed the rest of this video up, and then I will see you in a bit. Okay, so I wanted to go ahead and go over this part. If you can see, I did leave about a triangle section up at the top on the right side, and you will see how I cross that over in just a second. But this is a little bit of a close-up of what I do. So this is me taking the slice all the way across. You do see that you do want to see that the slice is paper thin. You should be able to read a newspaper through it. So I go ahead and put the foil underneath. I do not fold it in any way, tease it on top, and I'm going to go ahead and add the conditioner at the top. You can bring the conditioner down as low as you would like to or keep it as high as you would want to, but it's just going to be that extra buffer that you need for a seamless result. I didn't use conditioner for a very long time, but I'm literally obsessed with the way that it comes out, so I literally don't do something without it. So I go ahead and blend in right here. I blend up with the brush. I am using a Framar brush, so then I go ahead and lock it into place, clamp it in on both sides, and use my comb to close it because that's just what works for me. So I go ahead and do that, and then I'm going to go ahead and do that again. So this is me taking the section, and then I go ahead and I clip that back up. And I take a slice on top of that. Do it again. You can do it 2 or 3 times as long as you know that you're doing it right. That's all that matters. So you go ahead and tease that up, and I like just make sure the tease is locked into place, so I'm not putting anything on it or getting lightener or bleach on the parts and make you have bleed marks or anything like that. So make sure that the tease is locked into place. So I drag this one down a little bit more. I like to alternate with the conditioner, putting it higher, putting it lower, so you do get that variation when it comes to the foliage. So I'm saturating the bottom, making sure everything's completely covered. You can move it around on the foil, do whatever you need, use a board, but I like to use my hand personally. So I just go ahead and blend it up, and then I'm going to put a foil on top of it and lock that into place as well. Okay, so this is where my 2 corners meet. As you can see, I basically create a triangle section at the top of the head. It doesn't have to be perfect. As long as you kind of come together in a triangle section like that, I cut it across, and I'm going to start taking horizontal sections going up this section. The reason why I do this is because if you go all the way up doing diagonal backs, you're gonna have this kind of cast where things kind of just like sink in. If you have horizontal sections going up the top, it kind of lays over everything, so it makes it look very full, and you have that coverage in the middle instead of creating a deep pocket in the center of the back of the head. So you do the same thing you're doing everywhere else, putting conditioner and then going ahead and blending out that entire section until you get to the top. And then we'll go ahead and move to the front. Okay, so I lost all the footage to me doing the front of the hairline because I suck. So basically all I do in the front is I do highlight sections around the hairline, so all the way to the root for those money pieces, and then I take horizontal sections all the way up, doing the same thing that we did in the back, and then that's how I finish. You'll also see the end result on how my foils lay, so that will be next. Thank you so much. So this is her all finished applying. This took me about an hour and 30 minutes. And yes, she does have a lot of hair. So this is the completed foiled look. And we are going to let her process for about 20 minutes. And then we're going to give her a peek. So this is me looking at her after 20 minutes. And she looks great. So we go ahead and take her to the bowl. So for all of my foliages, I do a color melt in the bowl. So I am reading her with Redken Shades EQ with a 7N, a 7NB, and a 7P. And through her ends, I pulled through a 9NB, a 9P, and a 9N. And I did go over this with a 8N and a 7NB as well, just to add some richness because she was really, really light. Are you ready? I don't know. Am I? I'm so scared. What do you think it's like? Your hair's just like...
No, I believe it. I'm sure.
Just to let you guys know, this is like the second time she's ever gotten her hair colored in her life, so she's been so nervous that literally she was like, oh my gosh, I can't look, so literally her eyes are closed. So we end up turning her around and she sees it from the back before because she's literally so nervous. Okay, you look at the back. Oh, you can open your eyes.
That looks really good.
She's like, I'm gonna cry and that's...
Oh my god.
It looks so good.
Oh my gosh.
And a little disclaimer, the lighting in my salon absolutely sucks, so we'll go over to the ring light and then the natural light so you guys will be able to see it a little bit better.
Yeah, it looks good. Yeah, it looks good.
Really good!
Thank you so much.
So this is the end result. You can kind of see the color a lot better here. And I will also insert pictures at the end so you can see exactly what it looked like. But thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Goodbye.